What's up, gamers? Welcome to Articulate, the podcast from anything but. Also, look at this shirt. It's sick as hell. I've already stated before that I do in fact buy all my clothes from Hot Topic, so that's cool. I also stated that I shouldn't be crouching because it hurts my knees. But anyway, question for all you wannabe content creators. And I mean the ones that are like pretty good at it by now. The types that can just turn on a camera and yap consistently, but words one in front of the other without too many gaps, unlike me, because I'm sure YouTube has randomly put a janky little video on your homepage where it's just a person in a dark room talking about their day or something that has been on their mind or some other strange and whimsical little thing. I really do love those videos. They're so like human, but I digress. What I'm talking about specifically is the people who are actually good at talking. I think I already said that actually. Anyway, I just watched an Ozzy video, if you know what that is, and she's so good at saying things. Maybe this is just me being super socially inept, but I sincerely envy people who are able to just articulate their feelings and then feel more feelings and articulate those right after. And in a way that's super easily understandable even. It's honestly bizarre, because I just sit here saying and like every 2 words, and I have to cut everything together because there's these massive gaps in between every single thing I say. Although right now, low-key, I'm making sentences, bro. I'm like speaking the English language. And then I end up just repeating shit and just saying the same thing over and over, which is really annoying. I would really like to be able to have the ability to like speak properly and communicate and whatnot. There's also this girl named Julia, I think, that I'm subscribed to, and she talks about her art and like anxiety and other life stuff. Really chill vibes, dude. Just like saying stuff, having ADHD, that's a lot more spaced out and chill, I guess. I don't know, I already said that, I think. I was really just trying not to say like my videos, because mine are really just something else. I don't know. It's actually just shit posting on the internet. There was also this girl whose name I'm forgetting, who was talking about being in high school. So like, ew, that's crazy that there are people that much younger than me now. She was talking about how she was having a hard time with school and she was maybe going to go get her GED. And I was like, hey, yo, I've experienced this before. I can leave a helpful little comment. And so that's what I did. I was like, yo, sometimes you just gotta drop out and get your GED, which maybe, I don't know if I should be telling people to drop out of school, but legitimately, especially if you were just going to enter the workforce right after high school anyway, you might as well just drop out, get your GED, and then start working. And that'll give you a massive head start, honestly. Although I guess most people just work in high school anyway, but you can make a significant more amount of money than all those losers working on the weekends only if you drop out and just work all the time. So that's a pretty legendary way to get a head start if you can do that. That's what I did. I don't know if it really gave me a head start. And now, low-key, I forgot to say this last episode. I was talking about school and stuff. Did I already say low-key? That's a word that has infiltrated my vocabulary. I cannot stop saying that word. But I kind of miss school, which is the craziest, like, mind fuck of my entire life. I think I did talk about this. I don't know. The conversation is completely derailed. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Yeah, I almost missed school, which isn't great. Didn't think that would ever happen. It's just really the structure of everything. I'm like low-key going through a bit of a crisis right now. Or maybe I'm always going through a crisis? I don't even know, dude. I think I'm just mentally ill and or maybe have ADHD. Right. I left this comment and that's insane that me, of all people, actually I had relevant information and wisdom to impart on this individual. And also it was weird because I never did anything like that. I never used to interact with the internet and like leave comments and do things of that nature until I made this YouTube channel. Well, not this YouTube channel, but the gaming one, the variety channel or whatever, which is kind of what the question I wanted to ask was about. It's taken this long to get to that question that I mentioned at the very, very beginning. Other than my sick as hell shirt, dude. Epic Godzilla moments. I was going to ask, have you guys always been good at this? Actually, the second I said that, I'm like, that's a stupid question. But yeah, people seem really good at talking to cameras and whatnot. And maybe it's also because I'm socially inept. But I think the majority of my generation grew up kind of interacting with technology for sure, but also being on camera a little bit. And I didn't do any of that. for a very, very long time. And so now I'm starting out and I'm like, this sucks, this is cringe, this is horrible, which is a really unfortunate situation to be in because I have the wherewithal and the ambition for a lot of stuff. I just don't really have the skills for it, for anything really. And actually, I was thinking about making a legendary little video essay about this. And this is incredibly off topic, nobody cares. I shouldn't say that, but you know. So yeah, before I accidentally go off topic and then make this video not uploadable by yapping for too long. I'm bad at yapping. I always repeat myself. I never properly articulate what I'm trying to say. I literally wrote out most of this intro and now here I am just with the little teeny tiny notes that I have left, a few words, honestly, not even paragraphs of things that I should be saying, and I'm just sort of freezing here. I'm not doing anything, I'm not saying anything. And as I said before, I watched that Ozzy video. It's like 20 something minutes long. There are barely any pauses. She did not take a single freaking second to think about what she was going to say. She just sort of knew what to say, or she was sort of finding her way through saying it, which is something I cannot do whatsoever. I've honestly, the only reason why I'm even semi-comfortable is because I've almost been doing this for 3 years, and so I've like collected enough catchphrases and words that I've said online that my brain's just sort of pulling from that. That's how I work. I talk in catchphrases. I'm like, what's up gamers? Other catchphrases that I say, I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious if everyone's stuff was this bad before. And unfortunate, okay, I don't know how to speak. I was about to say unfortunate. I don't even know what I was just gonna say. Maybe I was actually saying words properly. I actually do that quite a bit, where I say words properly and then I'm like, oops, I said that wrong. And then in the edit, I'm like, bro, nobody would have even noticed if you would have just kept speaking. But unfortunately, I do not have the same luxury as them to be like, oh, that was a different time. That was a long time ago. I was a wee lad. I didn't know how to say words. Now I'm just sitting here embarrassingly. I'm socially inept. I don't know how to speak to people. I don't know how to speak to cameras. It's pretty interesting stuff. I can't blame that. And so maybe I should have just made cringe videos when I was a small child. I kind of did, but I don't know. I feel like I've been under slightly different circumstances my entire life. And maybe that's just me attention seeking and being like, I'm not like other girls, you know, stuff like that. I don't even know what the point of this was. I literally was like, this is gonna make a good podcast episode. Let me start writing some of this stuff down. And there was like a major cool point that I wanted to say. Maybe it was just that, were people that are good at this ever as bad as me, you know? Because it doesn't seem like it, and especially since a lot of people had older accounts for stuff in the olden days, and that's where they experimented and did poorly. And I'm over here starting my career at ground zero, you know? I don't have an older account that I was cringe on, and now I'm starting this and I'm good at stuff. And so I don't know, I haven't been doing it for as long as everyone else, and I feel terrible, and I'm like, oh wow, everyone else seems really good at this. I understand that most people don't actually have their shit together, and everyone else just seems better and cooler than you. I really despise myself for saying every 2 words. If I could just train my brain to shut up and stop for a second so I can think, then maybe editing would go by a lot faster. So yeah, that's another thing. Maybe this was just a way for me to try to ask Ozzy a question. Am I even saying that right? I don't know. Because I'm like, hey, that individual is cool. That's that lady from TikTok. She made that funny noise that one time. And so I've also been watching her long form stuff. Pretty insightful stuff. I don't know about insightful. I guess kinda, because we're both Gen Z. Yeah, I guess she would be Gen Z. Who's the youngest Gen Z? Like, what age are the youngest Gen Zs? I think it goes to like 2010. So they're like 15? Yo, the youngest Gen Zs are 15. That's gross, dude. That's nasty. I don't have anything in common with 15-year-olds. Well, maybe I do. I'm socially inept. Although, never mind, actually. There are a lot of 15-year-olds who are, like, intelligent and stuff. This has completely just spiraled out of control. I don't know what the whole point of this was. It was to try to ask Ozzy if she was ever bad at YouTube or whatever. Even though she's definitely not ever gonna see this. Unless maybe YouTube lets me put a thumbnail of her face on it. So I have to do the auto-generated one, which sometimes doesn't work how I want it to, which is really unfortunate. Even if it's like a big old picture of someone's face and it's like it very clearly could be a pretty good thumbnail. YouTube's like, actually, let's do this random frame where you're standing there and there's a censored bar like all your other thumbnails. So that's cool. That's great for me. I was gonna maybe mention that I did watch Superman, which I will probably talk about next week because it's been 18 minutes, which means this is gonna take several hours to edit, unfortunately. That math still makes no sense to me, but I talked about that some other week. I do not remember when. Also, like, just watched The Wild Robot. I watched Superman, like, at the beginning of this week. It's like Wednesday now. So I watched it on Sunday. I don't know when that was. Several days ago? 4, I guess. Yeah, Superman was an epic banger. Can't wait for more. Oh yeah, I just watched The Wild Robot. That was a good movie. I liked it. I didn't realize the fox was Pedro Pascal. What am I even saying, dude? I'm like, hey, I just watched this animated movie. It was good. I just watched Superman. It was good. Ozzy noticed me. That's weird. I think I should stop saying that. I just think Ozzy's kind of cool, you know? She did that impression of that popular guitar sound, and it was pretty good. It was funny. That's one of the only references I have other than a few of her long form stuff. I was also going to mention something maybe earlier, but I don't know. I'll probably just write that into a script for a short or a video essay. I would really like to start doing video essays on the variety channel that isn't a variety channel yet. It's just a gaming channel. Unless you count the New Year's Eve videos, those don't have gaming in them. But what was I gonna say? Oh, one more thing, because I'm being obsessive and creepy about Ozzy. I'm like, she has so many subscribers, bro. I guess in the grand scheme of things, not really. But if the numbers after my subscribers had a K in it at all, I'd be like, I made it, bro. This is it. This is the big leagues. I can live my life happily now, you know? She did mention something. I don't remember what it was. She was like, she was talking about wealth. She said, I don't need fame. And then I was like, sorry, broski, that's where I'm gonna have to disagree, because I'm trying to be rich and famous, you know what I'm saying? Not actually. I did think about it for half a second longer, and then I was like, technically, I don't think I want fame. I just would like to build a community. I do have this magnum opus, maybe not magnum opus, but the greatest, most strongest concept for a video essay that I have so far is about building a community versus building an audience. And this is a fun little theory I've been working on for a while now about YouTube and audiences and whatnot, based entirely on not science, you know? Source? I made that shit up. It seems pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to think about. I will potentially make that someday, but I will have to make other video essays first. So hopefully maybe I'll do that. It's 23 minutes, dude. I've just added several more hours onto the editing time that it's gonna take. That shit's crazy, dude. Catch you in the next one, gamers. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment, I suppose.